Welcome back, Doug Burson, CPA, and today we're in part 2 of Social Security. This part is going to be on why you should wait to take Social Security. If you haven't seen the first part, make sure you check that one out. I'll put a link at the end of this video. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Now, number one, just like I said in the last video, this is a very important decision that you shouldn't take lightly. And to be honest, you probably shouldn't do just based off of a video. This is something you need to think through, the pros, the cons, get with a financial advisor who actually knows what they're talking about, that can help you think through all of it, because this is an important decision that you can't take back, so we want to make sure we get it right. With that being said, let's look at some reasons to wait. Now, one reason, especially if you started working later, but you're really in your peak earning years right now, and you're making a lot, and earlier in your career you didn't. Remember, Social Security is based on your best 35 years. So if you're really doing well and you've got some years back there that aren't so great, continuing to work, that alone may be a good reason to wait so we can bolster up those numbers. Well, number 2 on my list today is you have a long life expectancy. While nothing is guaranteed, we usually can see patterns within our family and our own lifestyle. Are we in good shape? Are we going to the gym? Do we exercise? Do we eat well? Once again, no guarantees. I know a lot of people have done those and still things didn't work out right. But as a general rule, we have an idea, and if that's you, if you think you're going to live a long time, then maybe you should wait because of you get the 8% per year increase. Now, there's people who say, and we talked about that in the earlier one, I could take that early and invest. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Be really careful with that. There are good reasons to think that could work, but there's no guarantees. This 8% is guaranteed. So if you're going to have a long life expectancy, it may make sense to wait. What about health insurance? Let's be honest. If you retire, you may lose your health insurance. And retiring early and going on Social Security at 62, and you have to wait till 65 to get on Medicare, that could be a very, very expensive 3 years. So that reason alone causes quite a few people to have to wait. And make sure you don't forget about that one when you're doing your analysis. Don't forget health insurance costs. All right, we mentioned this in the other video too, but if you make more than the annual earning limit, especially if you make a lot more, remember we got to pay back $1 for every 2 we earn over the limit. Right now, that's a little over $23,000. Depends on what year you're watching this. That number will be higher because it tends to index every year. But that's something to pay attention to. You don't want to go draw Social Security because everybody said draw it at 62. You're still making $100,000 and then find out you got to pay it all back. That would really hack you off. So make sure that you pay attention to that. If you're a high income earner, this probably isn't a good strategy for you. Another reason you may want to wait is you're going to be very reliant on Social Security. In other words, you're not inheriting any money from anybody else. Your life hasn't been one that you've been able to save a lot. So the only thing you're really going to have is Social Security, or you're going to be very reliant on that Social Security income. Then that could be a very good reason to wait as long as you possibly can and get that number to boost up. Because if you're in that situation, you probably don't have the investments and other things that might make the other strategies work. So if that's you, you may need to work as long as you can so that those retirement years are as easy as possible, because that's still, we got that guaranteed rate every year that's going to happen. Now here's an interesting one, tax planning. Okay? Maybe we should wait to draw it because tax planning. A lot of people say we should do it because of investments, and maybe we should. But what about Roth conversions? What if you just retired, you're 62, you've been in a really high bracket for a while, so you dumped a bunch of money into your qualified accounts, but now from 62 to 72, your income's going to be very low because we've done the other steps properly, and now we'd like to do a bunch of Roth conversions. Well, if I'm going to do a lot of Roth conversions and make that Social Security get taxed, maybe that doesn't make sense. So that's something to really think about too, is the tax implications. If there's other things that we're going to do that the Social Security is going to mess up our income on, then maybe we should postpone taking Social Security. So don't get lost in everything else and forget about taxes. Taxes are a big part of this, and a big part of planning is going to be managing Social Security. It's going to be managing IRMA, right? When we get to 65 and Medicare, if we're making over, I don't know what it is exactly right now, $220,000 roughly. If we're going to make more than that as a married couple, and we put that Social Security in, now we're getting hammered on IRMA too. We want to think through all of it. We got to think about IRMA. We got to think about healthcare. We got to think about income taxes. So don't look at this just based on how long you're going to live or just how much you think you can make with that money if you reinvest it. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I really think you should get somebody to help you through this. But that's a good reason to think about postponing. Could be tax planning. Now, kind of like the one I said a minute ago as far as you're going to be relying on it, but maybe if you're not, it's just the higher monthly income. It's substantially higher from 62 to 70 on what your Social Security is going to be. And if you didn't need that money between 62 and 70 and you knew you were going to spend it, you weren't going to invest it, you were just going to basically blow through it anyway, then waiting to get it till 70 could really make your retirement years a lot less stressful because you'd have a guaranteed income every month that you didn't have to worry about the markets on, and that can be a very, very reassuring thing, especially that's one of the biggest fears people have in retirement. I think that may be on the list here already, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now, is one of the biggest fears is outliving our savings. We're really worried about running out of money, as we should be, but if we've got a good plan in place, then we don't have to be. And maybe using Social Security as a part of that plan and getting it to a larger number, because we know we're going to spend it anyway, could really be a big benefit to boosting your peace of mind during retirement that you're okay. So that could be a really, really good reason why maybe for you should wait. On that same vein, higher monthly income for your spouse. If you were the higher earner substantially, especially if you had like a stay-at-home mother or something like that, like in my family situation, well, if I were to postpone it, then my wife's spousal benefits would also be way higher as well as mine. And so there's a double benefit there. Don't forget both pieces. We don't want to get to where we're just thinking of one little thing. We got to look at the whole picture. And so those spousal benefits could be very important, as well as, most likely what's going to happen, I'll probably pass away sooner than she will. Having a higher number for her, because mine is now higher, could help ease her final years as well. So we got to always make sure we're thinking about our spouse too if we're married. If we're not, then we don't have to worry about that. But if we are, don't forget to think about the impact on your spouse both while you're alive and what if you're not. And continuing that theme, since I'm on it right now, is the COLA adjustment. That's your cost of living adjustments. Well, those are percentages. So if this year we got a COLA adjustment of 1.5% or 2.5% or whatever it is for that year, that's based on what you're getting. So if you've got a bigger number to start with, then that COLA adjustment is going to be a bigger adjustment. And that could be a big thing to think about. So once again, don't forget the COLA adjustment. All right, I think I already said this one, but I think it's really important for a lot of people. It can help reduce the fear of you outliving your savings. And it also might help you become a better investor. If you know you got that bigger number that's guaranteed every month, when the market's going down, because it always is going to go down, it does this all the time, that's part of how it works. If it goes down, you don't have to panic as much because you know you've got your monthly expenses covered. And that's an important part of retirement planning, is trying to make it so that you've got your monthly expenses covered so you don't have to worry and make decisions based on your emotions instead of the logic that you know. You knew what the plan was. You knew it was going to be okay, but that's a whole lot easier said than done when you see your money start going down. And if you got some guaranteed income coming in, that can help you reduce those fears, reduce that stress, help you sleep better at night. These are big deals, and I want to make sure you understand that. So that could be a good reason. Now, I'm not saying in this video, nor in the other one, that you should take it early or take it late. I'm just trying to give you different things to think about and help you have a better set of questions and thoughts when you go talk to your advisor to try to plan this out the best for you. And there's a lot more, and we'll probably do some more there. And there's also a lot of these that I've said. You could also take the other point of view on them, or you could take a different perspective on how you think the world is going to go. So nothing I said in these is 100% guaranteed right or wrong, or this is what you should do. I'm just trying to give you things to think about. And one of the most important things to know about in Social Security is know exactly when you're going to die. If you don't know exactly when that is, then we just have to take all these things together and try to put together the best plan based on what we do know and make an educated decision and then just go with it. And that's all we can do. But the more knowledge you have, the more you can think about this, as long as it's not paralysis analysis, the better you'll be. So hopefully these were helpful. Leave comments. If you have questions, let me know. I'll be glad to try to help. And most importantly, this is just something to help you. Try not to use these videos to make those decisions. Get some help, because there's a lot to this and you want to get this right. So with that, we'll see you next time.